Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about Blackberry Stock. And this is something that's a little bit of a departure from my normal phone conversation, but I know there's a lot of people out there who care about the phones who may or may not have seen all of the excitement in the Blackberry Stock arena here lately, because just 3 months ago it was trading at under $5. And I myself looked at it. I buy stock. I like to invest, but I didn't feel like it was a good investment then. And this is not a video about investment. I'm not giving you advice. I'm not talking about spending money in it. This is just a high-level conversation about what happened because it stayed stale and stagnant for so long, and now it was a huge mover the last couple of weeks to the tune now. It actually peaked out at over $13 per share today on January the 20th. So very interesting stuff, and I want to talk about some of the catalysts and the reasons why this has happened. And I think that it's pretty neat to see where this is going now, because I think that it's a big sign off on the market mindset that BlackBerry isn't necessarily a phone company anymore. It's a software and security services company. So we're going to talk about all this stuff. But before we do, I do want to say, if this is your first time stopping by the channel, I appreciate you being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. Let's talk about BlackBerry Stock. So when it comes to BlackBerry stock, most of the ways I invested in the company over the years was by buying a lot of their phones. I think I personally helped fund a couple people's paychecks at Waterloo over the years. And now they're not a phone company anymore. And they've made this known. They got rid of the handset division. They've been farming it out through licensing agreements, first with TCL, BlackBerry Mobile, and that licensing agreement venture, and now with Onward Mobility moving into 2021 with the upcoming 5G Android-based BlackBerry. But BlackBerry is still alive and well, and they've been around for a very long time. And of course, their handset division was the big reason why they became such a prominent company, but it's always been on the foundation of security and services. And they had the BlackBerry Enterprise stuff, all the back-end things for the phone management and the network management for the devices inside of different companies. So it made sense to continue into the Internet of Things, into cybersecurity, into other ways to maximize security of information and connections. And that's a big part of why this is such a big deal now. So there are 3 reasons why the BlackBerry stock has gone up tremendously here in the last couple of weeks or even the last month. And the first one was with the deal between BlackBerry and Amazon, particularly Amazon Web Services. And the way this works, it's a multi-year partnership where they use the BlackBerry Ivy software to create a secure way to get information and data from vehicles. Now, BlackBerry has had QNX for a long time, and they've never really found a great way to monetize it. And we were saying this, especially on Crackberry back a long time ago, whenever they started using QNX and then they started putting it in vehicles. They had it in so many different vehicles, but were never able to actually turn a profit on it. It was just getting it out there. I mean, they put them in Jaguar, they put them in all sorts of other different vehicles. The QNX software was very integrated into these vehicles. So now you've got this partnership, BlackBerry Ivy working with Amazon Web Services to create a secure way to communicate and get information from vehicles. That's just another prong in the security approach and where BlackBerry is investing themselves. So that was big. When they first had that Amazon news pop with this multi-year partnership, the stock went up and people started paying attention to it. And I myself even saw it, and I had looked at it because I make a lot of BlackBerry videos. I love BlackBerry. I thought maybe I should go ahead and buy some stock. I've been investing in a lot of stuff lately. I'm like, well, I bought BlackBerry stock. I had a couple hundred shares years ago, and here we are years ago now, and it's still basically at the same price. So I'm like, well, it's not really going to move anywhere. This doesn't seem like a sound financial decision for me to do if I'm trying to make money on something. So then it took off. I'm like, well, shoot, I just had this thought a couple weeks ago. I should have invested in it then. So that's why it took off initially. Now, we have 2 other reasons, and one of them, I just made a video about this the other day. BlackBerry sold 90 patents to Huawei. Huawei is one of the biggest Chinese electronics manufacturers, smartphone makers in the world. Whether you have an opinion about them one way or the other, good, bad, or indifferent, I don't think that matters here. This is a business transaction, so we're talking about the stock and why it has gone up. Selling those 90 patents also infused more capital into the BlackBerry name. And if you follow stock, if you're into investing, anytime there's good news in the market, the price usually goes up. And also activity, price goes up on activity. So we had the Amazon deal, that took off some. And then we have the BlackBerry deal with selling the patents to Huawei. Then the stock goes up even more. And then like the trifecta to match all this together while you have the market excitement in the rally of the stock as it's taking off, we also have the settlement with Facebook. BlackBerry sued Facebook back in 2018 for infringement on their patents in their communication software. I believe it had to do with Facebook Messenger and a certain way that the messages popped up on the screen, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on this, but they finally have come to a settlement. So we have the Amazon Web Services deal with the getting the software inside the cars for secure communication for information. Then we have the patent deal with Huawei, and now we have this settlement with Facebook. So we've got 3 different infusions of capital. We've got long-term investments. We've got long-term strategy at work in play here, and we have BlackBerry now asserting themselves and getting these big deals. And then you've also got the Cylance acquisition that happened a while ago, which is kind of coming to the forefront when it comes to DoD and making sure that stuff is vetted properly. So BlackBerry is finding themselves as, I think, maybe a moderate to upcoming major player in a more broader sense. And then we've got the huge foundation of QNX that's already in the vehicle. So BlackBerry really is starting to become a more household name in not just cybersecurity circles, but at the forefront where people are actually looking at them publicly for reasons other than being a phone company. And still, yes, they are synonymous with phones. And probably 5 years from now, people are still going to think of BlackBerry as a phone company. But the more and more they push themselves into these agreements, into these engagements, into the forefront of being a legitimate household brand in the cybersecurity or information technology, Internet of Things world, then I think that it will help propel them even further. So I'm not giving you a prospectus on where the stock is going. I'm not saying go buy it because I'm not buying it. I don't hold any positions in it. I'm not giving you financial advice. This is merely an educational video to talk about what has happened and why the stock is now something that's a water cooler conversation on the internet. It's something that's a big deal because there's been huge growth. I mean, we talk about, like I said, 3 months ago, the stock price was under $5 and it traded over $13.5, I think, today. So yeah, this is something that's really interesting, and I've, of course, been following this for years, so it was curious to me that all of these things kind of fell into place in the last 4 or 5 weeks, and now you have this stock that's worth 3 times what it was just 3 months ago. And I think that's great for business. I hope that it gives them some great opportunity to leverage this, gives them more goodwill and brand recognition so that they can continue to grow. I love BlackBerry. I love BlackBerry phones. I don't know if they'll ever come back under the same prong where BlackBerry is actually making them again, but if the onward mobility licensing agreement is successful for this new phone, then I think that that's great. And as long as the brand stays alive and I still see the BlackBerry logo and symbols on things, it's great. I wish them well, and I hope that they continue to do well in their security and software services endeavors. And I hope that in part this makes it where they can have their own phones again and maybe one day even have their own operating system again, because the best way to secure things is to build it from the ground up. There are a lot of people who aren't particularly interested in a BlackBerry running Android. BlackBerry 10 is reaching end of life in January of 2022. Maybe this will provide the added capital, the added revenue, the added everything they need to rebuild and rehabilitate their image in the global market to one day where they can say, hey, maybe we can make our own phones again. Who knows? Phones were dragging them down. That's why they had to pivot to a software and security services company. Maybe the software and security services is a way to dig them out of that hole to where it opens up more options again. I don't know. But I wanted to go and talk about this. I thought it was interesting. It's particularly interesting to me because I love the company, I love the brand, and I'm happy to see them succeed. And I thought, let me go ahead and make a video about it. So that's all I've got in this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I will get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.